Hello, everybody. Welcome along to Sportsbet TV. Once again, Paul Alster here with you, and I'm looking forward to Saturday, the 8th of November. It is, of course, the final day of the flat season on turf in Britain, with the curtain coming down, as is traditional, on Town Moor, Doncaster. There's also plenty of great racing over the sticks as well. And I've got two free selections coming up for you in two of the big handicaps of the day. Now, if you do happen to be discovering us for the first time, my modus operandi is to try and find horses at good each way prices. I'm not one that believes that you can get rich or even stay ahead of the game by backing short price favourites. So I take no interest at all in tipping horses that are not really working men's prices or working women's prices for that matter. Anyway, so I've got two selections for you this weekend. Last week we just missed out with both of our two, both just missing the frame. They ran well enough, but we didn't quite have the rub of the green, having had some decent luck in previous weeks. If you're interested in more than just the couple that I'm suggesting here, I've put up five selections over at my subscription service out in front on the Patreon service, and a link to that can be found in the description box just below this screen. Do consider joining up because we are having a very good run there with some lovely winners. And indeed, this midweek, there was just one selection put up at 10 to 1, and that won really nicely. And that was following a very nice winner as well last weekend. So things are going well with the winners, and also plenty of big priced placed horses as well at present. You can also, by the way, just get involved a day at a time and pay as you go if you wish. Anyway, to my two selections for Saturday, and the first of them is at Aintree, where we're racing over the Grand National fences for the first time this season in the Grand Sefton handicap chase, which is off at 240. The going on the national course is good to soft in places, and I'm happy to say that 17 go to post in this race. So unlike poor old Wincanton, where their fields have been decimated by the quick ground, including, of course, the Badger Beer chase, which is normally very well um, provided with lots of runners. Only 7 have turned up this year for the Badger Beer. Not so at Aintree. 17 go, and they include last year's winner King Turgeon for David Pipe. He won it really well 12 months ago, jumped the fences beautifully, but that was off a £12 lower mark, and he came to the race when he was fit after a couple of previous victories. Now, David Pipe can get one ready, as we know, after an absence, but it's the weight rise that worries me here, so I think he'll do well to follow up. Last year's runner-up is the Jed O'Keefe train Vintage Fizz, and he's back to take on King Turgeon, £13 better off for just over 3 lengths. So he must have a big chance of turning things around. And the third place horse, Gaborio, trained by Oliver Greenall and Josh Guerrero, also £13 better off for just over 4 lengths with King Turgeon. And likewise, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him finish ahead of Pipe's runner. Greenall and Guerrero also run the very likeable White Rhino, who won his first two races over fences last season in fine style, and then unluckily unseated his rider early on in the Grade 1 Cato Star Novice Chase at Kempton on Boxing Day, won by the Jukebox Man. He was found to have bled from the nose when he was pulled up on his only subsequent start last term in the very competitive Grimthorpe Handicap Chase at Doncaster in March, so it was a bit grim for him. But he is still something of an unknown quantity over fences, this White Rhino, particularly these unique fences. And if he takes to them, he's a horse with a lot of ability, and he is sure to be in the mix. Now, the top weight is Johnny Who for John Joe and AJ O'Neill, a talented horse, a neck runner up, of course, at the Cheltenham Festival in March over 3¼ miles, and then again running really well when fifth to the very exciting Haiti Couleur in the Irish National at Fairyhouse in April. This is possibly a sighter for a bid for the Coral, the old Hennessy Gold Cup at Newbury in 3 weeks' time, but Johnny Who could run well and snatch a share of the prize. Jet plane for Dan Skelton, second in the Fox Hunters here in April. Colonel Harry, who was a really good novice a couple of seasons ago and could well do better this time round after recovering from an illness that was sustained and an injury sustained on New Year's Day of this year. He would have a chance. And also the Sam Thomas trained Our Power, a very talented chaser, but who I think might find this trip on the sharp side. They're all others in with a big squeak in what is a wide open race. But for my choice here at Sportsbet, and I'm going to be backing one other in the race that's available at Out in Front. My choice here at Sportsbet is Excello, trained by Nicky Henderson, and the mount, of course, of Nico de Bonville. He appeals as the type of horse who could go really well, and I think he's going to be very much in the thick of the action. He was raised to 146 after winning on only his second run for the yard at Ascot in December 2023, and it didn't go unnoticed that he was still close up in the Topham Trophy in April over this course and distance. He was probably a length and a half off the pace when he made a mistake 2 out, having jumped really well to that point, and that basically ruled him out of contention. If he puts in a clear round here, I think that Excello is going to go really well. So at 10 to 1 each way, and that is for 5 places with a number of big firms, I think Excello is going to give us a proper run for our money in the Grand Sefton Chase, the 240 at Aintree. And then I'm going to take you to the other big handicap on Saturday. It is, of course, the last race of the flat season on turf in Britain. Doncaster 345, the mile and a half Virgin Bet November handicap. It's soft heavy in places, and there are 23 runners, so a big field to get stuck into. Finding the winner won't be easy, but I can tell you what won it last year. That's Lord Melbourne for Rafe Beckett, because he's coming back to try and do it again. But he's coming back off a £13 higher mark, missed most of the season, only reappeared in September at Epsom, and to his credit, he made it a winning reappearance. So he's coming here in good form, and despite that £13 rise, I think he's going to run well, but I'll be shocked if he's able to do it again, even allowing for Jack Dacey's £5 claim coming in handy. Now, Rafe Beckett also trains Master Vintner, who's a very different type of a horse, fascinating runner, a dark horse, having only the fourth run of his life, and his first start in a handicap of 92. He's won 2 of his 3 previous races, including in heavy ground in a conditions race at Goodwood in September. So he'll handle the ground, and if he stays, he might be very much um, amongst the leaders in the business end of the race. Now, William Haggis, as I'm sure you know, is always to be feared in big handicap. So his Castle Cove, who wears a first-time hood, is feared. He seems to be progressing well. And his latest fourth in the Autumn Cup at Newbury came over just a bit further, a mile and 5. And it was a sound effort, given that he lost a shoe during the race as well, which always is a bit of a handicap. It's a little bit like a car running with one of the tyres slightly um, punctured. The drop back, I think, to a furlong should help, and he's a previous winner on soft ground. Now, Gary and Josh Moore's Atherstone Warrior has been in great form of late on soft ground over 10 furlongs, but has gone up £19 and is unproven over this far. So I think he'll do very well to continue his winning run at this level and over this trip. The Moors also run Miller Spirit, who was first past the post for Gary's grandson Toby Moore, the son of Ryan, at Newbury 15 days ago on soft ground over a mile and a half. But, of course, I'm sure many of you already know, he was subsequently disqualified because he weighed in £15 light. He scrambled home that day, £15 light by just a hair's breadth. So you've got to think that running off the correct weight and with all the right weights in the saddle, he's going to surely find it hard to win off his correct mark in what is a better race this time. Maxi King for Kevin Philippard of Foy was eighth in the race last year and runs off £2 lower this time. He could be in the mix, as too could another horse who was only beaten 3 lengths in the race last year, stress free for David O'Mara, who's enjoyed a good season with a number of very creditable efforts. And Faye Bramley's Miss Dolly Rocker is classy. And is improving, while the top weight is a very smart performer. Grey Cuban for Hugo Palmer, he'll handle the ground. And the upwardly mobile 3-year-old Hopewell Rock for George Bowie could also have his supporters. But here at Sportsbet, and I'm backing one other in the race, which you can find out about at Out in Front. At Sportsbet, I'm suggesting an each-way interest on the Tom Dascombe-trained Hot Fuss, the mount of Pierre-Louis Jamin, who rides many of Tom Dascombe's horses. Now, Hot Fuss is a really classy dual-purpose performer who goes well in testing ground. He ended last jump season at the Cheltenham Festival, finishing a fine fourth in the Fred Winter at the Cheltenham Festival in March, and then was roughed off after running well for a very long way in the Chester Cup in May. You may recall him being banged there right in the front rank as they turned in and down to the final furlong before he was just outstayed on the flat over 2.25 miles. Now, this is his first run since, but he has gone well fresh in the past, and I think he could be dangerous. I really do. He's got a great attitude as this horse, and Tom Dascombe needs a big win to keep his yard in the mind of the general public. You remember for many years he trained for Michael Owen up there in Cheshire. Hugo Palmer now is there. He took over from Tom Dascombe and is doing well, actually. Tom, of course, also did well with the likes of Brown Panther, a real standout performer, as well as Royal Ascot winners as well. So I think he would be more than likely teeing up Hot Fuss for a big run here in the November handicap, and he's 20 to 1 each way for 5 places with Ladbrokes, Bet Victor, and Coral at the time of this recording. So those are my two for you free here at Sportsbet. I wish you the best of luck, whatever you're backing, and hope that we can have a terrific final day on the flat at Doncaster and see some great jumps racing at Aintree and elsewhere as we really start to get into the best part of the jump season now. That's all for today. Bye bye for now.